All I'd say is there's no doubt who got the short straw in this gig. I have to say it's an exceptionally difficult to sum up the incredible day that we have had here. A day that started for me with a march alongside 500 residents up the streets of Gorey. Those people went on to have 1,000 people marching in Wexford. And then, like all of you, to be privileged to be here at a very important part of our history, because it is history. This is one of the biggest gatherings of ordinary grassroots activists that this country has seen in decades. And comparisons with the Land League are correct, because that, like this, was a people's movement. A movement led by people who were sick of exploitation. People who basically rose up to take their destiny into their own hands. And that's what we're doing here today. And despite the best efforts of the government, ably backed up by their new friends in RTE, they are losing, we are winning. Irish people have crossed the line and have decided that this is the one that we're going to make a stand on. But the effectiveness of that stand depends on how much we organise. And today isn't about slapping ourselves on the back. This event is also being organised to help organise our magnificent campaign and make sure that we go on to victory. And to that end, there are a couple of issues that I really have to stress before people head off. Next week is going to be an absolutely critical week. We've had the reports in. Councils are being told to open council offices. Staff in this period of austerity are being offered double time to come in and take registrations. We know they're hoping for a surge. They're hoping to intimidate people into coughing up. Now, there's no sign of that surge yet, but next week is critical. So everybody has to go from here. We've got to make sure in every area our campaign is visible. On the traffic lights, at the schools, the shopping centres, the train stations, and so on. The lads in the middle have leaflets for every area. They've stickers and posters for next weekend. They cannot be left with any material. People have to take that material on the buses and divide them out. And next Saturday, for every one of us that were here today, we can have 50. Those clowns were so arrogant that they organised their national convention on the same day as this deadline. They're so used to getting away with it that they thought they'd do it then. How wrong they will be! Now today we've seen a vision of what is possible when people organise. Over the past few months, we've shown what it means to build a campaign of real people power. A new citizens' army, if you like, is arising in every town and village of this country. And we are saying to people, go from here and redouble your efforts. Everyone has a role to play. Everyone has a talent and everybody has a contribution to make this happen. If you haven't been involved in the campaign to date, make sure that you become very active now. If you haven't joined the campaign, join it now. Go get your friends, workmates and colleagues signed up, because money is going to be very important. This is a people's campaign and a grassroots campaign. And I just briefly, before finishing up, want to give the example of what happened with the campaign and the development of the campaign in Westmeath and in and around Athlone, because to me those people are a model and it shows what can be done. They're already fully involved in this, and they've only been around now for about 6 weeks and they're already leading the way. But about 6 weeks ago, myself and Luke Flanagan went to a meeting in Roscommon, and at that meeting we met 2 people from Athlone who begged us to come back for a meeting in Athlone, saying they'd organise everything. Well, they did organise everything. They got a venue for free, they got loudspeakers for free, and they delivered 400 people 10 days later in Athlone. Those people went out the following weekend, blocked the bridge in Athlone with hundreds of people. They organised a meeting in Moat of 150 people. They got their council to vote a motion condemning this. They officially participated in the Patrick's Day parade and stood in front of the Fine Gael podium shouting, "No way, we won't pay, we won't register." And when we went back to the meeting in Moat, the people on the platform who were the leaders of that campaign and introduced themselves as treasurers, secretaries, PROs of that campaign were people who were in the audience when we were at the meeting in Athlone. Now that's what's meant by building a people's campaign. It's not about people who've already been politically active, it's about ordinary people making a stand for themselves and seizing ownership of this campaign. We want to build this campaign in every town and village, and we need everybody here to put their shoulder to the wind on that. If we do that, what will we achieve? The big threat put out there by Phil and the boys is that come the autumn time, because let's face it, they're not going to be bringing anybody to court while they're trying to ram through this austerity treaty. So in the autumn time, they say they may take some of us to court. That's the next step. We will be ready. It is a fact that they can never take more than a handful before the courts. But we know it's only going to be a handful, but if you're one of the people in that handful, you mightn't be so confident about it. So the pledge and the commitment we can give to anybody who's worried is that do they honestly think that they will pack the courts with pensioners, with law-abiding citizens, with people on social welfare who've kept this country dry, when Patrick Flynn, Bertie Ahern and these people are walking around? I don't think so. And if they do, by God, they will regret it. So in conclusion, friends, there is nothing they can threaten us that we cannot withstand if we stand together. That is the message of today. We want to up the political pressure. We want to see you all in Galway on the 14th, particularly because Labour say they're workers' friends, they're worse nearly than the other lot. We do want to see major demonstrations on May Day, and we do want to see the towns and counties who haven't yet linked up with the National Steering Committee doing that over the next while. There'll be conferences and so on. So in conclusion, there's no doubt about it. We have won round one. But we go here. We go from here absolutely committed to redoubling our efforts. Our battle is one worth fighting for. If we don't fight on it, these parasites will bleed us dry with annual charges of more than €1,000. But it is worth much more than that. If we win on this, which I think we will, then how many other issues can we go after them on? Think of the confidence it will be for people everywhere. So before you go on your way, can I say that I can honestly believe that when the history books are written, we can say we were here. We were in the National Stadium the day the tide turned. As members and supporters of the campaign that opened up a new chapter in our history. A period of struggle, a period of solidarity, when the Irish people got up off our knees and staked our claim for a future where our interests, the interests of our children and our grandchildren, are put to the forefront rather than the interests of a few. The day we restored our dignity, let's go forward and we will be victorious.